What rumor did John Wayne's kids confirm? We'll talk about it next. John Wayne was born with the incredibly masculine name of Marion Robert Morrison, perfect for a rugged He-Man star of westerns and war movies, right? Right, we can see why he changed that when he arrived at Tinseltown. He came into this world on May 26, 1907 and left us at the age of 72 in 1979. He appeared in a total of 179 film and television productions. He was among the top box office draws for 3 decades. In 1999, the American Film Institute selected Wayne as one of the greatest male stars of classic American cinema. He was born in Winterset, Iowa. Wayne's father, Clyde Leonard Morrison, was the son of American Civil War veteran Marion Mitchell Morrison. Wayne's mother, the former Mary Molly Alberta Brown, was from Lancaster County, Nebraska. As a favor to Coach Jones, who had given silent Western film star Tom Mix tickets to USC games, director John Ford and Mix hired Wayne as a prop boy and extra. Wayne later credited his walk, talk, and persona to his acquaintance with Wyatt Earp, who was good friends with Tom Mix. Wayne soon moved to bit parts, establishing a longtime friendship with the director who provided most of those roles, John Ford. Early in this period, he had a minor, uncredited role as a guard in the 1926 film Bardelys the Magnificent.
I'll take the Winchester.
You may need me in this Winchester, Curly. Saw a ranch house burning last night.
Wayne's second breakthrough role came with John Ford's Stagecoach. Because of Wayne's B-movie status and track record in low-budget westerns throughout the 1930s, Ford had difficulty getting financing for what was to be an A-budget film. After rejection by all the major studios, Ford struck a deal with independent producer Walter Wanger in which Claire Trevor, a much bigger star at the time, received top billing. Stagecoach was a huge critical and financial success, and Wayne became a mainstream star. America's entry into World War II resulted in a deluge of support for the war effort from all sectors of society, and Hollywood was no exception. Wayne was exempted from service due to his age 34 at the time of Pearl Harbor, and family status classified as 3A with family deferment. Wayne repeatedly wrote to John Ford saying he wanted to enlist, on one occasion inquiring whether he could get into Ford's military unit. Wayne did not attempt to prevent his reclassification as 1A draft eligible, but Republic Studios was emphatically resistant to losing him, since he was their only A-list actor under contract. Wayne's first color film was Shepherd of the Hills in 1941, in which he co-starred with his longtime friend Harry Carey.
Pick him up.
Pick him up yourself.
The following year, he appeared in his only film directed by Cecil B. DeMille, the Technicolor epic Reap the Wild Wind, in which he co-starred with Ray Milland and Paulette Goddard. It was one of the rare times he played a character with questionable values. Director Robert Rossen offered the starring role in All the King's Men in 1949 to Wayne, but he refused, believing the script to be un-American in many ways.
And for the last time I tell you that nobody, do you hear me, nobody will tell me how to run this state!
Broderick Crawford, who was eventually cast in the role, won the 1949 Oscar for Best Male Actor, ironically beating out Wayne, who had been nominated for Sands of Iwo Jima.
In boot camp, you learned out of a book. Out here, you gotta remember the book and learn 1,000 things that have never been printed, probably never will be.
One of Wayne's most popular roles was in The High and the Mighty, directed by William Wellman, and based on a novel by Ernest K. Gann. His portrayal of a heroic co-pilot won widespread acclaim. Wayne also portrayed aviators in Flying Tigers, Flying Leathernecks, Island in the Sky, The Wings of Eagles, and Jet Pilot. He appeared in nearly 24 of John Ford's films over 20 years, including She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, The Quiet Man, The Wings of Eagles. The first movie in which he called someone Pilgrim, Ford's The Searchers, is often considered to contain Wayne's finest and most complex performance. Other milestones from that era included John Huston's The Barbarian and the Geisha, Howard Hawks' Rio Bravo, and John Ford's The Horse Soldiers. One low point was Howard Hughes' Bomb, The Conqueror.
Your hatred will kindle into love.
Before that day dawns, Mongol, the vultures will have feasted on your heart.
In which he played Genghis Khan. The hits continued in the 1960s, beginning with The Alamo, which he also directed.
Valance couldn't make you run away. What is it now, Pilgrim? Your conscience?
In 1962, Wayne starred in John Ford's The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance with James Stewart. May 29th marked the premiere of Howard Hawks' Hatari. Shot on location in Africa with Wayne playing the lead capturing wild animals from the beds of trucks, all the scenes with animals in the film are real. Other notables from the 60s included How the West Was Won, In Harm's Way, The Sons of Katie Elder, and El Dorado. The decade culminated with his only Oscar win for Best Actor in True Grit. He kept busy in the 1970s with other acclaimed films such as Chisholm, Rio Lobo, and Big Jake.
Move along! Come on!
They tell me you're a man with true grit.
Well, what do you want? Speak up.
It seemed that there would be no stopping him through this era, even as old age set in. And he continued with the hits such as The Cowboys, Cahill U.S. Marshal, and Rooster Cogburn. His last starring role would be in The Shootist.
Oh, Jay, the old man ain't worth a bullet. He looks all tuckered out.
One interesting film he did in this era would be 1975's Brannigan. This film he did as a reaction to Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry, a role he turned down, which turned out to be a major mistake as it would spawn for sequels.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
In 1973, Clint Eastwood wrote to Wayne, suggesting they star in a Western together. Wayne wrote back an angry response criticizing the revisionist style and violence of Eastwood's latest Western, High Plains Drifter. Consequently, Eastwood did not reply and no film was made.
And he says, yeah, you shoot him, just shoot him, get rid of him, because you got 4 other guys. And he says, I don't shoot anyone in the back. And Don made a terrible error. He said Clint Eastwood would have shot him in the back. And he said Wayne turned blue. You see? And he said, I don't care what that kid would have done, I don't shoot him in the back.
Wayne directed most of the Comancheros because credited director Michael Curtiz was dying of cancer and was often too ill to work. Wayne refused to be credited as a co-director. He holds the record for the actor with the most leading parts, 142. In all but 11 films he played the leading part. He also appeared in at least one film for every year from 1926 to 76, a record of 51 consecutive years. He did not act in a movie in 1975, though both Brannigan and Rooster Cogburn were released in that year. He made 3 movies with Kirk Douglas, despite the fact that the two had very different political ideologies. Wayne was a very conservative Republican while Douglas was a very liberal Democrat.
We have never seen eye to eye on a lot of things, but professionally, I think he's one of the most professional actors I've ever worked with.
In November 2003, he once again commanded a top 10 spot in the annual Harris poll asking Americans to name their favorite movie star. No other deceased star has achieved such ranking since Harris began asking the question in 1993. In a 2001 Gallup poll, Americans selected Wayne as their favorite movie star of all time. He has been in the top 10 of the Harris poll each and every year it has come out, and usually in the top 3. He is the only deceased actor to ever appear in this poll. He was voted the 5th greatest movie star of all time by Entertainment Weekly. His children have confirmed the rumor that their father was no racist. They were referring to an old Playboy magazine interview where the Duke said these words, "I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility," the actor told the magazine. "I don't believe in giving authority and positions of leadership and judgment to irresponsible people." John Wayne's youngest son, Ethan Wayne, told Fox News in a statement, "Let me make one thing clear, John Wayne was not a racist. I know that term is casually tossed around these days, but I take it very seriously. I also understand how we got to this point. There is no question that the words spoken by John Wayne in an interview 50 years ago have caused pain and anger. They pained him as well, as he realized his true feelings were wrongly conveyed." That was our show for today. What was your favorite John Wayne movie? Do you think he was misquoted in that old article from Playboy? Did you agree with his politics? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also check out my Carl Vincent franchise in the comments, subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. Until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Given saying live long and prosper, may the force be with you, and keep reaching for the stars.